Welcome to A Course in Business Miracles. This is Heather Dominic, creator of businessmiracles.com and founder and leader of the highly sensitive entrepreneur movement. Join me today for some genuine practical assistance and a business-altering and life-changing experience, a business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles, episode number 88, HSE feature with therapist and transformational coach, Nova Beltran. Welcome to this Business Miracles HSE feature episode. I am so excited to be featuring Nova as a member of the Business Miracles community and as a successful, highly sensitive entrepreneur. Nova, aside from being a valued member of the Business Miracles community, is a psychotherapist with over 10 years of experience. Nova started her private practice in 2009, and in 2019, Nova expanded her therapy practice to include transformational coaching. Through her transformational coaching work, Nova helps her clients connect to their spirituality. Nova is trained in a mindfulness-based somatic method that supports her clients in finding a deeper connection with themselves. She is also certified in EMDR therapy, which is a method used to help heal past wounds and traumas. Nova has created a path for her clients that involves them learning to access their resources, value themselves, and work through core barriers or beliefs. She is passionate about helping women access an indestructible part of themselves that can never be destroyed and is always available to them. Listen in as I talk with HSE therapist and transformational coach Nova Beltran to hear how she went from struggling in her business to using her uniqueness, experiences, and gifts to transition into coaching services while also sustaining her therapy practice at a high level, all in a way that has allowed her to feel financially secure and continue to thrive financially through these exceptional times. It is such an honor to be a part of Nova's HSE journey, and I am very pleased to be sharing this episode with you today. Nova, welcome to the Business Miracles podcast.
Hi, Heather. Glad to be here.
I am so looking forward to this conversation with you today. You and I have been connected for a while now, and the transformation that I have seen take place in you and for you has been incredible. So I'm so looking forward to just having the opportunity to talk more in depth with you. So again, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather.
Well, so let's start with the fact that you are in the Business Miracles Elite Mentoring Program, and you and I have been connected for about 2.5 years, I think, since the end of 2017. And so I would love for you to just share a little bit about, when you and I first connected, and most importantly, in regards to your own discovery about what it means to be highly sensitive, and then what it really means to be a highly sensitive entrepreneur.
Okay, yeah. So I've known that I was highly sensitive probably for like 20 years. So I just always went through thinking that, it was just something I had to deal with, and there was nothing really I could do about it. I remember trying to read books and trying to figure out how do I manage this, but it just kind of was like just push through and just deal with it. And I remember looking, online and finding you. I think it was before the focus on highly sensitive entrepreneurs. And I was intrigued then, but I didn't take any action. So this was several years back. And then I remember it was at the end of 2017, and I was actually visiting my dad, who was in the process of dying at that time. And it was then that weekend, I remember telling my husband, I'm like, I have to do something. I can't handle this. I need help with my business. It always felt like such a struggle. Life felt like a struggle, but business also felt like a struggle. So I was like, I went and looked at your programs again and kind of just kept being called back to that. And I was like, as I read it, everything sounded like it was for me, like you were writing to me. And I was like, I have to do this. So yeah, I signed up right whenever I got back home from that trip. And it's been a great decision to do.
Yeah. Gosh, I have chills. I so appreciate hearing about, how it is that you and I came to be connected, and especially because, you're addressing something that so many highly sensitives experience, which is, I just thought there was nothing I could do about it. Like, I know that I'm highly sensitive, but I just have to kind of live, with this struggle, live with this suffering. And I also really appreciate, the touching aspect about the realization coming alongside, a visit to your dad, who, as you said, was in the process of dying, transitioning at that time, because that is often when we do get these awakening moments, right? When something really significant has happened in our lives or is happening in our lives. So,
absolutely. Yeah, I don't think it was an accident that I had that set up, like, for me, like, to go, okay, like, you're going to go into this program at the end of 2017, and because 2018, was an awful, probably the worst year of my life, and so the difference that it's made has been just enormous. But I feel like I had that support lined up, because that year, within a year, I lost my dad, and then 5 months later, I unexpectedly lost my stepdad. And then my mother-in-law got sick and had to move in with us. So that meant we had to move her out of her apartment of 15 years, find a house that could fit all of us, move us all in, and all within a year that happened. And I don't think, I was like, maybe my business would have survived, like, if I kind of just barely have survived. But I look back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually created more in my business. I started coaching services that I offer people now, and I have signed on coaching clients. I did that during that time, but I actually thrived, and I would not have been able to do that without the program. And it just helped me also just get through that difficult time too. So it was, enormous.
For sure. I remember each one of those significant moments for you. And each time there was, such a significant loss happening for you, such a significant transition happening for you, myself and the Business Miracles community curator and coach Lorna, we would connect and we would touch base and just, like, how is Nova doing? Like, what is it that she needs? And I just remember, like, a sense of, like, all of us, just being, like, ready, like, ready to kind of, like, swoop in if needed. And you really continued to stay steady through all of those significant losses and transitions and changes. And then, as you said yourself, really thrive in your business, which included another transition, as you've mentioned, which was to expand your therapy practice into also coaching model. And one of the things that I have to say, because again, I remember each of these moments so clearly, is you have always shown up to do the work. So even when these major moments were happening, you were really utilizing the teachings, you were really utilizing the tools, you're really utilizing the support of the team, of the community, and I really, really credit you for that, because yes, the program was there, and yes, you really, again, fully showed up to allow yourself to receive what the program has to offer. And so, real kudos to you. And it's also a beautiful demonstration of really, truly what we are capable of as highly sensitive, that, you know, when we choose that life isn't happening to us, but it's happening for us, and we have a choice in terms of how we show up.
Yes, yes. And I so remember that was just, I remember you mentioned, you responded to something on the forum with me about that, like that it was, this isn't happening to you, how is this happening for you? And that was just such a pivotal moment for me of realizing, it was shifting how I see things. And it shifted things to me having more empowerment, that even though these circumstances are not ones that I want to go through, I can go through them and I can, be okay. So thank you for saying all that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly. So I'd love to talk just a little bit more about how you have made this model shift, or maybe we refer to it as an expansion in regards to therapy and coaching, because this is a question that I get a lot, from therapists who are considering coaching. And I would love for you to speak about this, because you are a person that I've watched who the shift didn't come from an abandonment perspective, meaning like, oh, therapy is antiquated, or therapy, is too much of a box. Like I'm just, I'm throwing in the towel and I'm jumping over to the coaching industry. True to HSE form, it's been very conscientious for you. So I'd love for you to talk a little bit more about that transition and, specifically the way that you've utilized the teachings and tools like for your USS and packages. Bring us in a little bit more about what that process has been like for you.
Okay. Yeah. And I have wanted to transition or add in coaching, really, because, and I love that you said that about how I have been just mindful of this transition, because it is more of an expansion of my services, because I care deeply about my therapy clients, and I don't want, to feel like I just abandoned that or abandoned the work that I've been doing for the past 10 years. So it was more of like, okay, how can I expand this? How can I make this more mine? And that's really what the program helped me create, the unique serving system, which, was with the therapy training, I would learn a modality and then I would use that modality. But it wasn't really, I didn't feel like I had this unique service I could offer people, and so through the program, I was able to use my uniqueness, the experiences I've had, and, the gifts that I can bring, and create something that I take my clients through. And so that it's really just been like pulling it all together and funneling it into my uniqueness and offering something for my coaching services. And through that, I've been able to really receive more compensation and work in a way that supports me better, so I can really serve more, so it helps me manage my energy and gives me the time and space to just feel like I can give so much more to my clients.
Yes. I think that says it so beautifully, is that you have leveraged the way that you work so that you're receiving more with less of an output, while also really honoring your uniqueness. And I really, really appreciate that you've emphasized that, because that is so much of what we teach in the mentoring programs, is that we're not all, as HSEs, meant to look exactly the same. We don't take a cookie cutter approach, but instead teach how to go within and really draw out, again, your uniqueness and how it is that you're meant to show up in the business, in the world, and to feel confident in that. So I would really echo everything you've shared and say that is exactly what I've seen you do. And it's impressive. And I imagine it's empowering. Is that your experience?
Absolutely, it is. And it's just fun too. It's like it is very empowering that I can, combine and just use and be creative in how I work with clients, and it's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, and I've had, success with it. I mean, I've been signing on coaching clients and doing well with it. Yeah.
You are consistently signing on clients. I feel like every time I turn around, I'm like celebrating the fact that like you have a new client or you've renewed a client. I've kind of lost track, and I just kind of like, now I just depend on it. I'm like, okay, yeah, Nova's just signing on another client or renewing another client. And it's fun from my perspective. And I'm so happy to hear that it's fun from your perspective too, because it should be, right? Like that is when we're in that strength of HSE creativity. So yeah, beautiful.
Yes.
I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how the community has played a part in this, beautiful transformation and expansion for you over these last couple of years.
It's been huge. Like they have been such a support, and just through that difficult time, I mean, I just felt so much love and support and consideration, and just I could go to either a call or the forum or get to see people in person at the retreat, and I just felt so supported through it all. And we're all caring people and sensitive, and I just remember moments of being like at the retreats, like just the similarities, and knowing that like, okay, they really get me, and that I have people that I can turn to that can really understand what I'm going through. And it's been huge. And I remember too, one of the first DPC calls that I listened to, and I was like, wow, okay, this person was sharing about business stuff, but also about their feelings. And it was, it was okay. I was so relieved that it was okay for us to sometimes share our feelings or how it's impacting us personally, or, our fears. And in this community, it's safe to do that, and it's welcomed. I feel like all of who we are is welcomed and supported, and it's a beautiful community. It really is.
I'm so happy to hear that, Nova, because that truly, it has been the intention for me from day one, and continues to be the intention for me, and especially as we all move through these exceptional times that we're in right now together. And I do have to say, when I think of you and community, and I know that I've said this to you before, but I always go back to the very first training retreat that you attended.
Yeah.
And it was in the spring, and I just remember like having eyes on you through the retreat, and I was like, I have not seen this woman say one word. And just very, very quiet, but very, very present. And I could tell that you were taking in everything. And then as part of the transformation and expansion that you've gone through over these years, to be able to see the level of comfort that you just described within the community, to see you blossom, and to really be able to contribute, to offer very keen insights and wisdom and support to others in the community, just as much as you've received the support, has been a really beautiful aspect of your transformation to witness. Yeah, it's been pretty remarkable.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, it was pretty quiet that first retreat. And I would say so.
Yes.
I've slowly been working on me to come out and speak more. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been beautiful. And in pure HSE fashion, when you open your mouth, there's always something amazing that comes out. So again, it's been really wonderful. So Nova, then what is next for you? Where do you see yourself, growing and evolving from here?
Well, just more of that being more D&D, visible and vulnerable. So that's what I'm working on, is like you've said and taught us during these exceptional times. There's we don't have time to be quiet anymore. So we need to be out there sharing our voice. And so that's what's next for me, is really focusing more on sharing my voice on social media, and also I'm going to start a newsletter soon. So that's kind of where I'm going next. Yeah.
That's exciting. And I have to say, the social media that I've seen you post, and in these exceptional times, powerful. So absolutely, you keep showing up in that V and V and being visible and vulnerable, because it's a really powerful voice that absolutely is meant to be heard. So I'm excited to hear that's really a focus for you going forward. And how about advice that you have for other highly sensitives who are looking to be able to step into their, own next level, whether it be entrepreneurship or just highly sensitive leadership? What are some thoughts that you have to share?
Well, I think that the tendency is for us to go at it alone. And if you have a business, or you're thinking about being in business or in a leadership, whether that's even just in your own home or community, it is important for us to have support. And as highly sensitive, it's like crucial to have the right kind of support, and one that is going to really support your strengths and your gifts that you have to offer, and not one that's going to tell you the same story of like how you're not enough, or there's something wrong with you. Because I feel like, highly sensitives have had that on repeat constantly our whole lives. And so, I feel like your program, Heather, is like designed, everything about it is kind of designed to really address those core beliefs of like, not being good enough, or that there's something wrong with us. And so my advice would be to, really get the support and get the right kind of support, and that to know that you don't have to do it alone, and that there's nothing wrong with you, and that you are more than enough, and that you're needed now. So that's what I would say.
So beautifully said, Nova. And so where can listeners find out more about you and experience some of this next level of V and V energy that you are choosing to step into?
Yeah. So they can find more on my website at novabeltran.com, and also Nova Beltran on Facebook and Instagram. So
yes, definitely check out the amazing work that Nova is doing. Nova Beltran, BELTRAN.com, and some of her very powerful, profound posts on Instagram and or Facebook. Nova, thank you so much. I so enjoyed this time with you today.
Thank you, Heather, and thank you so much for listening to your call and creating this amazing program that you have, and the support that you give. I'm just so grateful.
Oh, thank you. All right, beautiful. Until next time. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of A Course in Business Miracles. If you're ready to learn how to use your highly sensitive abilities to support you in being purposeful, profitable, and empowered rather than scattered, poor, and undervalued, take my free self-quiz to find out if you are indeed a highly sensitive entrepreneur. And if you are, along with your quiz results, you'll receive my free HSE Success Guide, which will teach you how to have your highly sensitive abilities working for you to create the results you desire in your business. Take the quiz and receive your free success guide now at www.hsequiz.com.